How many of the election terms and phrases do you know their meanings? We are here to help you with some of them.
General election.
An election held at the federal and state levels at regular intervals to fill the seat of elected officials whose terms have expired.
Off-cycle election.
Election held at a period outside the period of the general elections.
Supplementary election.
Election conducted in polling units where election could not hold or be completed on the initial election day.
Runoff election.
An election to select a winner after a first election where no candidate got the required minimum percentage of the votes cast.
By-election.
An election held to fill a vacancy arising from death or removal of the office holder.
Rerun election.
An election repeated with the same candidates, most often following a court order.
Collation.
Tallying of election results at various layers of collation from the polling units upwards.
Declaration or return.
Official announcement of election results by INEC and a mandatory legal requirement of the electoral process.
Margin of lead principle.
Margin by which the leading candidate is ahead of the second candidate. The law says that if the total number of voters who collected their permanent voters' cards in a polling unit is greater than the margin by which a leading candidate is ahead of the second candidate, a supplementary election will be required.
Overvoting.
Where number of votes cast in an election in a polling unit exceeds the number of accredited voters in that polling unit.
Rejected ballot.
A ballot which has been cast but is rejected by the presiding officer during counting, either because it identifies the voter or it was improperly thumbprinted.
A spoiled ballot
is a ballot that has been improperly marked or defaced by a voter but has not been cast. In this case, the presiding officer can retrieve the ballot and issue a new one.
Unmarked ballot.
An issued ballot without any selections made by the voter.
Valid vote.
Vote from a ballot that is legally acceptable, that is, not spoiled, unmarked or invalid from improper marking or thumbprinting.
Form EC-8A.
Statement of result of poll from the polling unit.
Form EC-60E.
Publication of result poster EC-60E.